Hi, my name is Veronica. Today we are going to be doing a very basic flow. Let's get started by finding a comfortable seated position and bringing your hands to rest on your thighs or on your knees. And roll from side to side, slowly, mindfully, noticing the connection between your sits bones and the ground. I happen to be using a yoga blanket, but you could use a towel. Just fold it up to lift your hips slightly and help you create that neutral pelvis that supports your spine. If it's okay with you, you may close your eyes or keep a very soft gaze towards the ground. And start to simply check with yourself, noticing how are you feeling today? What sensations are you carrying with you? Check with your mind, with your thoughts. Simply noticing, acknowledging, and even labeling. And come to check with your breath. Start to deepen your breath in and out of your nose. Equally long inhales and exhales. And intentionally starting to use the full capacity of your lungs. And as you inhale, filling up with breath for 4, 3, 2, 1, then hold the breath. Through your nose, exhale for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Holding the breath on empty. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold the breath. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Continue with that same rhythm for a count of 4 and holding the breath on full and then on empty. Just noticing the sensations that arise. Perhaps even starting to find a sense of calmness in your body and in your mind. Slowing down and connecting with what is available to you at this moment, with the present moment, with your body sensations, with your breath. And transitioning into Ujjayi breath. Victorious breath. Creating that ocean-like sound. Just slightly constrict the back of your throat, narrowing the passage of the breath. Slows down the flow of the breath, sending that signal to your whole being that everything is okay. And as you inhale, flutter your eyes open and bring your arms up over your head. And as you exhale, twist to one side and hold it there. Breathing in, lengthening through the spine. Breathing out, twisting. Inhale. And exhale. Arms up overhead, lengthen through the side body. Exhale, twist to the opposite side. Breathe in. And breathe out. Inhale. And exhale. And as you inhale, bring your arms up over your head. And as you exhale, bring your hand down, the opposite arm up and over your ear. Breathe in. Pressing down that hip on the side of your extended arm. Inhale. And exhale, switch sides, reach up and then reach over. And then breathe in. And breathe out. And inhale. And exhale, coming back down. Arms by your sides. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to your heart center. Transitioning into your hands and your knees for puppy pose. I have a blanket. If you have a blanket or a towel, you can use it for your knees, especially if you have sensitive knees. Tucking your toes, stacking your hips over your knees, extending your arms forward, separating shoulder width distance or even more, placing your forehead on the ground. If you want more of a stretch on your shin, you can untuck your toes and press the top of the feet on the mat. Inhale. And exhale, maybe bringing your forehead forward just 1 more inch or half an inch. Melting your heart towards the ground. Inhale. And exhale. And breathe in. And breathe out. And walk your hands in. Sit back on your heels. Perhaps removing your blanket. Place it on the side to keep it handy. You may want to use it later on in our practice. And walking your hands forward for a tabletop to go through 3 rounds of cats and cows. As you inhale, you lower your belly, you lower your chest and look forward. And as you exhale, you round your spine, bring your chin towards your chest. Inhale, cultivating that mobility in the spine. Exhale, rounding. 1 more time. Inhale. And exhale. Come back to your neutral tabletop. I'm going to move myself a little bit towards the edge so I can walk 1 foot out of my mat, extending the opposite leg back, contracting through the thigh muscles, and finding that long line of energy as I reach up and I reach over my ear with the palm facing down. Breathe in and breathe out. It might feel nice to create 3 big circles reaching over, down, and back. Cultivating mobility on your shoulder joint, releasing synovial fluid to lubricate the joint. Inhale. Grounding through your hand, engaging through your core. Press yourself up. Inhale, reverse sliding your hand down. 3 flows, exhale, hand down, arm up and over. Breathe in. And breathe out. Inhale. And exhale. Stay there as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, press up. And we can switch sides, extending that opposite leg Bringing your opposite hand to the ground, long line of energy, grounding through the pinky toe on the outer edge of your foot. Bring your arm up and then bring it over your ear, palm facing down. Inhale and exhale. 3 shoulder circles. Breathe in and out. Inhale and exhale. And one more breath. And exhale. Pressing down with your hand. Power yourself up. Slide your hand down, your leg, opposite arm up, open. And exhale for 3. And breathe in. And breathe out. Inhale. And exhale. Press yourself up. Come to your knees. Tuck your toes and sit back on your heels. With your arms by your sides. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, go post your arms and lift your heart. Breathe in, reach up. And breathe out, hands to your heart. 2 more times. Inhale. And exhale. And breathe in. And breathe out. Inhale. Exhale. And breathe in. And breathe out. Transition to tabletop to create hip circles. Extending your left leg back. Bend your knee, open up your hip. Now send your knee out, bring it forward, bring it in, and send it back. Out, forward, in, and back. One more time. Out, forward, in, and back. Reversing the direction of the circles, bring it in, out, and back. 2 more times. Bring your foot forward between your hands. If your foot cannot quite reach all the way forward, you can grab your leg with your hand, bring it forward, and then this is a good opportunity to use our blocks. Check with your front leg, stacking your knee over your heel, and you can walk your foot towards the edge a little bit more to create a wider stem that gives you extra stability. The back toes, perhaps tuck them, lift your knee up, shimmy the toes back, and then bring your knee back down to the ground. Keep on pressing through the toes. It helps you slightly lift the weight away from your back knee. Stay right here, or if you would like, you can bring your hands to your thigh, or you could bring your arms up over your head. Inhale. Go, post your arms, lift your heart for the exhale. Breathe in. Hands back down to the blocks as you breathe out. Walk your blocks back for half splits. Perhaps shimmy your front heel forward, flex your toes, and then pull up and back from your hip. Supporting yourself on your blocks, send your shoulders back, send your shoulders down, and the energy forward with your chest. Inhale, and exhale. Breathe in, and breathe out. Check with the length of the spine. One more breath. And exhale. Walk the blocks forward, coming back to your knee down warrior. Stay there. Or bring your arms up over your head. Inhale. Go, post your arms, lift your heart, feel the opening happening in your thigh and your hip flexors. Breathe in. Hands back down to your blocks. Option to use one block underneath your hand for support as you find your twist. Option to keep your hand on your hip. Option to lift your knee away from the ground. Keep on pulling your hip back so that your hips stay level with the other. Reaching up with the tip of the fingers, reaching forward with the crown. Inhale. And exhale. And breathe in. And breathe out. Coming off the pose. Hands to the ground. Press yourself back to child's pose. Perhaps with your knees together and your toes together, if that feels good to you. Bringing your arms by your sides, allowing your upper back to open. And as you stay there for a few more breaths, I'll come off the pose and start setting up for the other side. 2 more breaths. Inhale. And exhale. And breathe in. And breathe out. Ground through your hands. Pull yourself forward. I'm looking at different sides just with the purpose of you being able to see the pose. But you can stay where you are if that works for you. And let's find our tabletop. Hip circles now with the right leg, extending the right leg back. Bend your knee, open up your hip. Send your knee out, bring it forward, in and back. Out, forward, in and back. One more time, out, forward, in and back. Reverse the direction. And back. And 2 more times. And back, and one last time. And back, bring your foot forward between your hands. Grab your blocks in whatever setting works for you. Widen your stance slightly. Stack knee over your heel. And then you may tuck your back toes. Shimmy the foot back. Bring your knee back down to the ground. Keep on pressing through the toes to relieve pressure from your knee. Stay right here, or bring your hands to your thigh, or bring your arms up overhead. Inhale. Goal pose your arms and lift your heart, opening up. Breathe in. Hands to the blocks. Walk your blocks back for half splits. Shimmy that heel forward. Pull it back. Pulling from the hip, up and back as you flex your toes towards your face. Shoulders back, shoulders down. Energy forward through your heart. Inhale. And exhale, observing the opening happening in the back of your leg. And breathe in. And breathe out. One more breath. And exhale, walk your blocks forward, coming back to that knee down warrior. Stay there, or hands on your thigh, or arms up over your head. Inhale, goal pose, lift, exhale, and breathe in. Hands back down as you breathe out for your twist. Option to use the block or not. Option to bring your hand to your hip, open your arm, and even to lift your knee off of the ground, keeping the length in the spine, pressing through the toes, pressing forward with your crown, and then twisting. Breathe in, and breathe out. And inhale, and exhale, bring your hands back down, press yourself back to child's pose. 5 breaths. Breathe in, expanding through your ribs. And breathe out. Inhale. And exhale. And breathe in. And breathe out. And one more breath. and exhale. And from your child's pose, walk your hands in. Swing your legs forward, finding bound angle. Soles of the feet touching, knees wide open. This could be your pose. You could also use blocks underneath your thighs if you have some challenges in your groin, in your inner thighs, or your hips. You can stay there the whole time, but if you would like, you can also use the blocks. And with the inhale, lifting the ribs up and forward, and with the exhale, perhaps going a little bit deeper. Listening to your body. Inhale and exhale. And come on back up. Transitioning to a tabletop. And from our tabletop, walking our hands forward, just one hand length. Spreading fingers wide open. Downward facing dog. Press your hips back. Engage through your core and lift. Pedal your dog, bending one knee and melting the opposite heel towards the mat. Inhale. And exhale. Come back to stillness. And gazing forward with tiny little steps, tiptoe forward to the top of your mat, shifting your shoulders over your wrist. Forward fold. Maybe separating your feet wider than hip width distance and swaying from side to side. Coming back to center, closing your stand, and walk your hands up, your shins, your knees, your thighs, all the way up to your mountain pose. Tall and strong, looking for the neutral pelvis, grounding through your feet, length through your spine. Inhale, bring your arms up overhead. Extended mountain. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart center. Inhale. And exhale. Warrior one. From the top of the mat, separating your feet, hip width distance. Switch the weight of your body to your right foot as you step back with the left one. Nice stand. Squaring your hips forward, bending into your front knee. Neutral pelvis, hands at heart center. Grounding through the outer edge of your left foot on the mat. Contracting the muscles of your left thigh. Softening through your shoulders. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, go pose, lift the heart. Inhale, arms up. Elbows together and hands together. Breathe in. And breathe out. Inhale. And exhale. And breathe in. Warrior two, opening your hips. Now, stacking your shoulders over your hips. Stacking your knee over your heels and tracking your knee over the second and third toe. Ground through the outer edge of the opposite leg, finding that neutral pelvis, core engagement, arms strong at the level of the shoulders. Inhale, arms up over your head and look up. Exhale, warrior two. Hands to your heart as you breathe in. Express them out as you breathe out. Two more times. Inhale. Exhale. And breathe in. And breathe out. Inhale. And exhale. and breathe in, and breathe out. Triangle pose. Straighten up your front leg. Send that opposite hip up and back as you keep that neutral pelvis. Reach forward with the tip of the fingers and move your arms like the arms of a clock. Allow your fingers to land on your shin on the inside or the outside and the opposite arm up. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhale and exhale. And one more breath. And exhale, press yourself up. For the next pose, might be nice to use a couple of blocks right in front of you on the ground. Wide-legged forward fold, creating a wide stand with the toes pointing forward. Bring your arms up over your head. And softening through the knees, leading with the heart, forward fold. Halfway up, lengthen. And forward fold. If it's accessible to you, placing your elbows on your blocks or just staying on your hands or your hands on the ground. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhale and exhale. Pivot your toes. Maybe shorten your stance slightly. Let's move these blocks forward and find your warrior one on the other side. Inhale and exhale. Notice where you feel strong in this pose. Notice the muscle engagement happening in your legs. Notice your core and the strength that you're harnessing for stability. Inhale, exhale, go post your arms. And breathe in, elbows together and hands together. Inhale, and exhale. Breathe in, and breathe out. Inhale, warrior two. Adjust your feet as needed. Pressing the mat away as if you're trying to break it apart. Grounding through both feet and then gently pulling your inner thighs towards each other. Finding that neutral pelvis, core engagement, arms nice and strong at the level of the shoulders. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, press down. Hands to heart as you breathe in and send them out. Inhale and exhale and breathe in and breathe out. One more time. Inhale and exhale and breathe in and breathe out. Triangle pose. Sending your hip up and back, reaching forward with your arm. Move the arms like the arms of a clock. Inhale. Exhale, contracting through your thigh muscles. Breathe in and breathe out. And one more deep breath. And exhale, bring yourself up. And pivot your toes, and then close your stand. For a balance pose, separate your feet, hip width distance, lift the toes, spread them open, bring them down. The wider your stand, the more stability you're gonna have. The wider your foot, the more stability you're gonna have. So switch the weight of your body to, let's say, your right leg. Pressing down with the four corners of your foot, finding length in the spine, core engagement, neutral pelvis. Lift your knee up towards your chest. And then open your knee to the left. You can stay there, but if you would like, you can also open your right arm to the right, and you could even play with your gaze, turning your gaze to the right. Inhale and exhale. And breathe in and breathe out. And one more breath. And exhale, bring your knee forward. Extend that same leg forward with your arms by your side. Flex your toes towards your face. And keeping the core engagement and the length in the spine, and perhaps avoiding leaning back as you do so, lift your toes a little bit higher, right there. And again, left. And again, left. You got it. Breathe in. Knee to chest, give it a nice hug, and release it back down. That burned, didn't it? So the longer we stay on one side, the more strength we're cultivating. So that's the purpose. Not just the core stability, but also the strength on that leg that supports you. Let's switch to the other side. And you're probably wondering, is this woman gonna fall? I wondered that too. With all the talking, there is the risk that I'm gonna fall, but I'll be all right. I'll get back up. Let's go ahead and switch to the other side. Grounding through your foot, finding length in the spine. Bring your leg up. Open your knee. And go pose the opposite arm. Play with your gaze. Inhale. And exhale. And breathe in. And breathe out. One more breath. And exhale. Bring your knee back to center. Extend your leg forward. Palms facing forward. Lift the toes. And a little bit more. And a little bit more. Bringing your knee to your chest. Give it a nice squish. And release. Walk it off. Now we're on our way down to the mat. So I'm gonna come to the top of my mat. Bringing our arms up overhead, perhaps creating a back bend if that feels good to you. And exhale, forward fold. Come halfway up, look forward. Step back to a tabletop. And let's come all the way down to our bellies for Sphinx pose. With Sphinx pose, we stack shoulders over elbows. Plant our hands down, send the shoulders back, send the shoulders down, and the heart forward. Keeping our gaze just slightly forward, right in front of our mat, so that the back of the neck is still long. Top of the feet on the mat, inhale. And exhale. And breathe in. And breathe out. 2 more breaths. Come off of the pose, tuck your toes, press yourself back. And rolling to one side, extending the legs forward. Bring your hands behind your hips, separating your feet, maybe a little bit wider than hip width distance. Drop your knees to one side and turn your gaze to the opposite. Notice where you feel this pose. In my case, I feel it in my inner thighs a little bit, in my shoulders. And one more time on each side. And coming back to center. Bring your arms by the sides and slowly roll all the way down to your mat. Stay there for one good breath. And side out. Bridge pose. Reaching for your heels with the tip of the fingers. As you inhale, press your feet down, lift the hips up. If you would like, you can also add your arms up and overhead. Let me move my blocks. There we go. And as you exhale, roll down slowly, arms by your sides. Inhale, press your feet down, lift up. Exhale slowly, arms by your sides. One more time, breathe in. This time, stay there, maybe arms over, maybe opposite wrist, or maybe you bring your hands or your arms by your hips again. Inhale, and exhale, and breathe in, and breathe out, bringing your hips back down. For a figure 4, as a hip opener, placing your ankle over your thigh, creating the figure 4, flexing your foot. You may stay right there, and this could feel plenty to you today. If you would like, you can also bring your knee towards your chest and interlace your fingers behind your hamstring. Or if you would like another option, you can also interlace them over your shin bone. Flexing both feet, inhale and exhale. And breathe in and breathe out. And one more breath. And exhale. Let's come off of the pose. Maybe extend both legs down. Maybe extend both arms over. Like a morning stretch. And let's move to the other side. Figure 4. Notice what's happening on this side of your body. Notice if there is more challenge or if you feel more open. And just go from there. Listening to what your body has to tell you. Your body speaks to you with sensations. So rather than tuning out any challenge that arises, we listen to it, notice, and we adapt. Stay there or find a different option that works for you. Just 2 more breaths. And coming off the pose, bringing both knees towards your chest. Give them a nice tight hug. Inhale. And exhale. Since I have the blocks over my head, I'm going to reach for one of them. There it is. If you have one block, you can use it. Otherwise, you don't have to do it. For waterfall, you bring the block underneath your sacrum, the flat bone at the bottom of your spine, and you lift your legs up. If you don't have a block, it works the same way. Or you could even place a towel, a folded towel, or a blanket to lift your hips up a little bit. And relax your toes. You can set your gaze between your toes or up in the ceiling. Keeping your neck stable by keeping your gaze straight up. Inhale. And exhale. And breathe in. And breathe out. One more deep breath. And exhale. Slowly bring your feet down. Remove your block. Go ahead and place it elsewhere. And happy baby. For happy baby, you open your knees wide. Bring them down towards your armpits. And you can place your hands in the back of your thighs. Or you can grab your calves, or you can grab your ankles, or you can grab your feet. Whatever is accessible to you. Notice what's happening with your tailbone. If your tailbone is lifting off the ground, bring it back down and just adjust your hands to a different level. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhale And exhale. 2 more breaths. And exhale. And 1 last breath. And exhale. Bring your knees to your chest. Wrap your arms around them. Breathe in. And side out. 1 more full body stretch. And as you bend your knees, you cross your left leg over your right one like a lady sitting in a chair, bringing your thighs towards the other. And drop your knees to the left. As you go, pose your arms and turn your gaze to the right if that is accessible to you. Breathe in. And breathe out. Inhale. And exhale. And breathe in. And breathe out. Switching sides, crossing your right knee over the left. I'm going to scoot myself on my mat a little bit so I have plenty of space for my twist. And then I'll drop in my knees to the right and turning my gaze to the left. Inhale. And exhale. 2 more breaths. And 1 last breath. And coming back to center. 1 last thigh hug. Breathe in. And side out. Shavasana, final resting pose. Arms by your sides, palms facing up. You have the option to bend your knees if that feels more supportive for your low back. Or you can create a bound angle, soles of the feet touching. Coming back to the natural rhythm of your breath. Allowing your body to be heavy and fully supported by the ground as you expand into the space that surrounds you. I invite you to stay in your Shavasana with your eyes closed for as long as you can today. It's your choice. I will go ahead and thank you for joining me today in this practice, and for allowing me to share my love of yoga, my passion for this movement and breath and space and strength with you. I bow to you in gratitude. Namaste.